they square and pursuing their business and walking in and what they supposed to, them is not asking your body count.
So you saying body count doesn't matter to a real man?
Body count matters to dudes who not in the count.
Ooh. Oh, Lord. No, we didn't.
This has been tonight's conversation.
That's what I'm saying. I've never met a man who's had the, and ladies, I'm not saying it's like y'all easy. I've never met a man who had the ability to actually be with the woman that he wanted. Because most dudes with the women they got access to, not the women they want. I don't know a lot of men who with the women they want, who be worried about who else she. I got money. I know the spots. I can take you wherever the rest of them niggas take you. I'm confident in what I got. I'm not worried about who else you with. Only a dude who not on his square is worried about community. I don't roll in the community.
There's the right ladies to dry yourselves up with.
Respectfully, I can say a Just Mike. I can say an Ace Metaphor. I'm looking at some of the nodding in the room. I don't even roll in the community that you was handing that out to. I don't. I'm not gonna run into the dudes that you with. The dudes who happy and want to point the finger like, oh, I f***ed her. That don't shop where I shop. He don't land where I land.
Respectfully. Sensational.
All right, man. Welcome back to another episode. This is Mike Perkins, aka Michael B. Podden, aka Me So Corny. One half of MVP, one half of Mike and Vince Perkins, one half of Opinions I Like Podcast. And for this here, I am the whole show. You saw the clip in the beginning, and you did see you should see on the screen the nonsense. Now, I don't typically, I'm not a dude who is like on women's head about their body count. I don't think that the body count conversation is really the conversation that men are really, really having. Especially not black men. I don't think that black men are really having that conversation. But so a lot of times when women say, oh, if you care about a woman's body count, then you're whatever. It's really not the body count more so than it is your relationship with sex. So that the classification is hoe, not hoe. It's not really your body count is a 12, so now you're a hoe because it's over 10 or whatever your number may be. I'm just saying 12 because 10, because that just popped into my head. But it's not a matter of saying anything greater than or equal to this number is actually you're a hoe. Like, no, it's really more based on your relationship with sex. So that if in the event that 10 was all one night stands or something like that, you know what I mean? Something extreme. Or you got 3, but the 3 that you have ran a train on you. Who knows? Like, you know what I mean? It's really your relationship with sex that really kind of matters and not body count. And I don't think that men do, and I'll take, the hit on behalf of black men. I don't think we do a good job articulating that it's not the body count. It's your relationship with sex, which includes your body count, but it's not exclusive to your body count. I think that what they're trying to do, though, because, women have this thing where they argue a insignificant part of the overall point as a means to dismiss the whole point. Just like the thing that they do when they over-exaggerate the expectations so they don't have to do anything. It's just little tactics that you kind of got to pick up on and reel it in when they have these conversations about their body counts. You know what I mean? And look, for the two women that were talking, I think it's Keita Rose and I'm pretty sure it's Randy. I'm pretty sure Randy is from Detroit. I know people that know her. Both women are in relationships. I know people like personally who was at Randy's wedding, at her wedding, like in her wedding, you know what I'm saying, with wedding, dresses or bridesmaids dresses on and everything. So I kind of know that she's in a committed relationship, marriage, she's married, her last name is different, the whole shabuga bang. For those two women to give such poor advice to one, because the implication there is that you can just do that. And consider, what's on the screen right now. Consider. Look at it. And if you're in Houston and you fucking in Houston, you're a fucking idiot. Like, you might well just throw your dick in the trash. Just take your dick and throw it in the trash. You know what I'm saying? You might well fuck a cheese grater. You in Houston fucking. You know what I'm saying? You're an idiot. Just take your whole dick and just throw it. Just throw the whole motherfucker in the trash. Dude, that is a fucking stupid thing that you're doing there with your dick. So if you're in Houston, get tested and leave. After you get your results, and get you whatever, requisite shots or cream or whatever the fuck you need for the thing. Just get it together. Don't go to Houston with your dick. Leave your dick in, Michigan or Illinois or wherever the fuck. Because you take your dick to Houston, it's going to be something on it. So leave your dick. Don't take your dick to Houston. I know you want to go to V-Live and, you know what I'm saying? You want to meet all the women, but don't take your dick to Houston. It's wild in Houston. Your dick will get something on it. That's just a sidebar. It's a public service announcement from Mike Perkins. You're gonna ruin your dick. Oh my goodness. That is not that funny. That's not that funny. It's hilarious, but it's not that funny. I've been in Houston and I didn't know that they was wilding out in Houston like that. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, for the two young ladies, and just overall, your relationship with sex is what matters. It's not actually your body count. Your body count is really, like I said, it's a part of your relationship with sex, but it's not. But looking at just the things, the problem, or the conversations that we don't have. For example, what's on the screen. Like, they're not having that conversation as well. Secondly, they're not having a conversation about paternity fraud. I always bring up paternity fraud because I think it's one of the easiest conversations to have with regards to why picking a hoe is not necessarily the best situation for a man who wants a family, a wife, kids, things of that nature. It's not the best situation for a man to pick. Because with paternity fraud, one, it's called paternity fraud, but it should just be called bitches be lying, because there's no actual penalty associated with paternity fraud. And if we look at 30% of the tests that are taken are negative, we kind of gotta extrapolate that over the black community and understand that when something bad is happening in America, it's typically happening worse in the black community. So if that number is 30% for the nation, it's probably a little higher in the black community. You know what I mean? And I always like the thought exercise of, look, if the number's 30% for the paternity test that I taken, and you got all this hoe phasing and all of this hot girl summering and city girling and and all these women advocating for the worst kind of hoe shit, Maury Povich for 30 years, paternity court, and it's just black women that be on there. It's mostly black women that be on these shows. All the cheaters and all the nonsense going on. Our women are just throwing their coochie in the air, and wherever it lands, that's who they fucking. Well, it landed here. I guess I'm gonna have to give you some. You know what I'm saying? And if you a dude who has any common sense, the coochie goes. It's like when they throw the bouquet, and you the next person to get married, and everybody jumps out the way. Jump out the way of the coochie if they throw it in the air, and it's on you. Because if it get on you, it's on you. You know what I'm saying? You are the next contestant on, the slice is right. See, because it's a slice. Whatever. So the problem is that women who are promiscuous present a possibility for you to be a victim of paternity fraud. That's one of the easiest, points of contention when talking about why is it good or bad to be a hoe objectively. And I'm not telling women what to do because I don't care what they do, but I care about men picking these women thinking that it shouldn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because really, I'm not mad at the girl Randy and Keita Rose for saying that. I mean, I think that they should always say that if that's what they're going to say. I get pissed at the guys that say that. Because like, dude, we have to pick from these women, you know? And paternity fraud, although you think it's nothing, because I don't think anybody thinks anything of it, but 30% is pretty high. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty high. Even if it stayed at 30%, I think that most people understand if you took them through the thought exercise of if we mandatory paternity test, where would that number go? Would it go up, down, or would it stay the same? I think most people would understand it would probably go up, because typically women are not so, into just having paternity tests taken, because, it suggests that you don't trust them. But bitch, I don't. So maybe you should not be a hoe and, take this. I think it should just be mandatory, but nobody talks about that, and that's fine. But for the men to be the ones that are saying it shouldn't matter, it's just like, yeah, it doesn't matter if I'm casually having sex with you. But eventually these women want to be wives, practice hoe, and then all of a sudden shake off all the syphilis and, gonorrhea, shake it all off, and then say, now I want to be a wife. Like that's really what they're doing these days. They're shaking off all the syphilis, all the bumps, and then just saying, now I want to be a wife. And what we have to do is we have to be smarter we're smarter, but we have to be smarter than them in these conversations and not make it about the moot point or the small point of, body count. It's not about body count. And also, too, you have to reject the idea that you're trying to tell women what to do, because that's not what we do on this side. We don't fuck what they do. We give a fuck what we do. Once you do what you do, okay, that's fine. I'm not gonna tell, because I'd never tell. I haven't asked a woman for her body count ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had conversations with women and they've divulged that information. You know what I'm saying? It's always like, bitch, you hoe. Like, two? The fuck is your problem? Was your daddy in your life? 2 niggas been in there. Shit. I'm gonna be number 3, so you need your daddy in your life. But I've never asked a woman about her body count. And not to say I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But again, I do, like for example, I'm never one of those guys who say I would never date a woman with kids. But I do have stipulations on you having kids. It has to be from a committed relationship. You know what I'm saying? Preferably marriage, but everybody don't get married because everybody just doesn't get married. You know what I mean? Because that's just not the culture nowadays. But if it's a committed relationship and you were with the guy, and you can present that y'all was in a relationship at least, I'll buy it. It is what it is. I just at least need to know that you tried. That you're not out here in these streets just randomly having niggas babies and then they ain't shit. And then niggas ain't shit. I don't need that kind of woman. Is just, if you've at least tried, you having some kids. That happens, man. I'm of the age where, enough of the women are gonna have kids anyway. At least the ones that are, that look like anything. Somebody's gonna shoot up their club. Brah. So but it's like I have stipulation on it. Like, I don't mind if, a woman having sex. That's just not the point. But the stipulation has to be, and you can't be like, I can never have, and I've had this happen to me recently, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, the young lady doesn't listen to, she listens to everything I do, so she probably does. But I had this happen recently, whereas, you may deal with a chick, and not recently, but I had it happen. But whereas you may deal with a chick, and because she's been such a hoe, like, word get around and it get back to you. And it's like, nah, she was just with old dude just like 2 days ago, something like that. And then you're like, oh, well, she on that type of time. Okay, cool. I'm glad I know that information, because now I get to move on. Now I get to move, or I get to, try and get some coochie. Now I don't have to take you seriously in that regard. Now I can just get some coochie because you just was fucking yesterday. Now either you fucking him and you not fucking me, which is cool. I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? You don't owe me no coochie, but I'm going to want some coochie just like he wants some coochie. So we need to figure this out. You know what I mean? I don't mind you being who you are. I mind you making me have to deal with you on your terms. No. And that's the problem. Like, dudes need to get over trying to have the body count conversation, because the body count conversation, you'll never win, because all women are going to do is making a moral argument. It's not a moral argument for me. You know what I'm saying? Paternity fraud is not a moral argument. That's not a good deal for me. You know what I mean? You know, 128% increase in syphilis among women in Houston. Like, nigga, that's a non-negotiable there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, like, you hoeing in Houston? You a Houston hoe? I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. Nah, you a Houston hoe. That coochie need fucking yellow tape around it. You know what I'm saying? You need to quarantine the coochie. That's not good. You know what I'm saying? And don't let you cough around me. Oh my God. Coughing with quarantine coochie? You know, that's girl. Ugh. You know what I'm saying? But that's why, in this show, just overall, the tonight's conversation show, it's not that it's bad, because it's always good when women tell on themselves. One, it's always good when the 1992, 1993 arguments of women being independent and strong and should be able to do it. It's always cool to hear them say that, because then I don't have to lie. I can just play the clip and say, see, this is what they're saying in 2023. They're saying this thing here, and we have all the numbers. We know how much y'all hoeing. We know how many y'all got kids. We know how many kids out of wedlock. We know how many kids men have. We know all this information, and y'all still advocating for hoe shit? You know what I'm saying? Y'all still advocating for hoe shit, and Future got 9 baby mamas, and Nick Cannon got 7 or 8 baby mamas, and these rappers and these ball players and just random niggas in Memphis, and y'all still advocating for hoe shit, and y'all having kids at an alarming rate, and syphilis running around like a badass child. In my head, I would think that maybe these should be conversations that you should kind of dial back, but I'm glad that they're candid, because it helps this side. This side of content creation benefits from that side not being smart enough to understand that maybe you should, reel it in, but saying it and being candid. I love the candor. Like, I appreciate it, because now we don't have to lie. We can just press play. You can't say you didn't say it. Nobody cares about your body count. I care about your relationship with sex. And if your relationship with sex is such that you're on whole time or whole behavior, well then, in which that's one behavior. Whole behavior is one. It's a prominent behavior, nonetheless. But that's just one behavior. You could be, the type that uses sex as a weapon or uses sex as leverage. If you clean this up, and if you take the cars, and if you buy me this, and you could be on that type of time. That doesn't take being a hoe, but I don't deal with those kind of women either. That if you do this, then I'll give you some. Like, nah, we're not going to deal with that kind of behavior. You know what I mean? Any number of, very, I don't want to say the word toxic, but just poor behaviors with regards to sex. So you can pick up any bad habits, but your relationship with sex is what matters to me. Not necessarily, that includes your body count, but not exclusively your body count. You know what I mean? And I doubt that men are walking around asking for your body count anyway. It's one of those things where they've said it so often, now it's true. It's like a game of telephone. Like with the 50-50 conversation, I always ask women, if you really think that black men specifically, or men in general, are having the 50-50 conversation, you're an idiot. Show me. Give me clips of major creators saying that men should be able to go 50-50 with a woman, and she should still cook and clean and clip my toenails. Like, please show me the clips of men saying that, because it doesn't exist. Just like with this conversation, there are no men actually walking around saying, I want to know your body count. That's actually not a thing. Now, you may get men that say, a bitch with a high body count can kick rocks. I'll fuck her, but I ain't wifing her, which is just practical. It's practical. Like, you're promiscuous. You made your decision. You want to be promiscuous. I want to be next. I'm not going to dog you out. I'm just going to fuck you. And then after I fuck you, I'm going to move on. I should be able to do that. The last 17 dudes did that. And that's another thing too. It's after you've accumulated the bodies. It's after you've accumulated bodies on bodies on bodies. It's like, then you want to come back to the game, and now you want to be a wife. And I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying, what kind of deal is that for me? Because I've dealt with women, and you know, you got to stop dealing with them that say, I won't be having no more sex until I'm in a committed relationship. And I just stopped talking to them. I've had it happen to me twice. And I'm just like, so who do you think I am? You think I'm Boo Boo the Fool? So you, hold on. So you get to be butt ass out here, giving up coochie, mouth, and booty, and so on and so forth. And then now it's on me as some new nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, the price just 5 seconds ago. The price was cheap liquor in the room. And now it's my turn, and now I'm supposed to do what? What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to say, okay, I'll pay the extra. No, bitch, I'm not paying the extra. And y'all keep doing it. I'm not paying the extra. The guys before me didn't pay shit. Now you are at liberty to say, well, this is my price and I won't be negotiating. That's fine. It was good. It was nice not doing business with you, and then I'll move on. But you can't just think that men are supposed to pay a higher price because you just said it's worth more now. What the fuck do you think you is? What kind of Looney Tunes negotiation is this? You know what I'm saying? 1 for me, 1 for you, 1, 2 for me, 2 for you. Like, what kind of... You can't hit me with the okey doke, with the abracapocus. That's what they trying to hit you with, the abracapocus. Bitch, I don't think you understand. But that's also the thing. It's a bad deal for a man to pick a hoe after she's done hoeing, because you're not getting the best of her. You're not getting the best put. And there's no woman that can tell, that could be righteous and tell me that they came out of hoe phases whole, without trauma. You know what I'm saying? No, you come out of hoe phases with trauma, because hoe phases usually are triggered by trauma. And I don't mind. Do what you're going to do. But I then get to do what I want to do. Because I'm never going to tell a woman what to do with her body. Do what you want to. But then now I get to choose. And I'm going to land the plane. I'm going to end this. If body count did not matter, you would never have women holding the information. Because women will tell you a lot of stuff that's way more important than body count. They'll tell you about their credit score. They'll tell you about their businesses. They'll tell you how much money they make. You know what I mean? They'll tell you what's in their account now. They'll tell you a bunch of financial information. They'll tell you what degree they have. They'll tell you what school they went to. They'll tell you how big their house is. They'll tell you a bunch of information and none of that shit's my business either. But since your body count is something that you know actually matters, you like to hold that in, because what you really want to say is that my price is my price and you should just pay it. And I'm not paying extra. I'm not paying the feezy. When you was out here giving it away for the freezy. For sheezy. Nah, but that's my time. I appreciate everybody. Give it a like. Give it some love. Share it if you could. And if you ain't subscribed, make sure that you're subscribing. And that's it. Appreciate you. Mike Perkins. And I am out.